Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast with Robert Ikard. Today I'd like to briefly go over asset protection. Of course, get your own lawyer and your own accountant and get advice from them. But having said that, this is not intended to replace your lawyer. It's just a brief outline of what asset protection is. Let's just say you buy a house. Okay, we'll just talk about one house at the moment. This is you, and you bought a house as an investment property. Okay, so there's a thing called the chain of title, and it goes back to the land grant or wherever it started, however it started. And if you get yourself in the chain of title, you're also in the chain of liability for that property, for any environmental or other type of things that may come up that you don't necessarily want to be in. I don't ever recommend, and I never did recommend people to buy property in their own name, even for a brief period of time, because that, even for 1 minute, it puts you in the chain of title. So that's what happens if you buy the property in your own name. But let's just say, there's different types there's LLCs, there's S-Corps, which is just a corporation that's taken a subchapter S election. There's C-Corps, there's limited partnerships, on and on. There's different types of legal entities that have the ability to protect you against, it gives you asset protection, and it protects you and keeps your name off the chain of title, basically. Protects you against liability. So, let's just say you form an LLC. Excuse my handwriting, but you form an LLC, and instead of owning it in your own name, you put it in the LLC. Then the LLC buys that property. Okay, so that's one concept. So the LLC will retain all the legal liability that happens with regard to that property if you follow the rules. And there's different rules, like you have to keep a separate bank account, not treat it as it's your own property. So you have to get legal advice on that. But it isolates any liability to this one LLC for this one property, okay? Or you can put multiple properties in there. However, if you put multiple properties in the same LLC, then that one LLC, if what happens to one property will affect all the properties. All of them can be sucked into whatever happens to that property liability-wise. So another way to go about that is to have, let's just say you have multiple investment properties, and these are like little houses. And then if you get an LLC, you can form a separate one for each separate one. That's a lot more work and a lot more paperwork and a lot more accounting, but so you have to kind of figure out if maybe you want to put multiple in one, maybe you want one for each one. I used to normally recommend people always have different properties in different legal entities, like LLCs. That isolates, so if something happens in one property, it doesn't affect your other properties. So it puts a wall between your properties, and then also, of course, between yourself. So these are legal walls that you want to build. And these walls protect you and protect one property from another property. It's a shame to go and build up a portfolio of properties only to have them subjected to something happens at one property that'll affect another property. So you probably don't want to do it that way. Anyway, those are just the basics of asset protection, and it's very good to do some asset protection. Think about it, and not just go out and buy rental properties in your own name. Think about it first, how you're going to set it up, how you're going to organize it. Thank you.